The world once again finds itself standing on the edge of a dangerous geopolitical cliff as tensions between Iran and the United States reach one of their most volatile points in recent years. In a powerful and defiant message that echoed across global media, Iranian officials made it clear that their country is no longer willing to absorb threats in silence. The warning was direct, unapologetic, and unmistakable. If America attacks Iran, Iran is fully prepared to strike back. This statement was not issued in secrecy or through diplomatic backchannels. It was delivered openly, signaling that Tehran wants Washington and the entire world to hear it loud and clear. This moment did not appear out of nowhere. It is the result of decades of hostility, mistrust, broken agreements, military confrontations, and political pressure that has steadily built up between the two nations. For more than 40 years, relations between Iran and the United States have remained frozen in conflict. Since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, Iran has viewed America as its primary adversary, while the United States has consistently framed Iran as a destabilizing force in the Middle East. Each side believes it is acting defensively, yet both continue to prepare for confrontation. In recent weeks, that confrontation has begun to feel alarmingly close. American political figures and military planners have once again raised the possibility of direct action against Iran, citing concerns over Tehran's nuclear program, its regional influence, and its support for armed groups across the Middle East. Statements warning Iran to accept new conditions or face severe consequences reignited fears of military escalation. Aircraft carriers, warships, and advanced military assets were reportedly moved closer to the region, sending a message that the threats were not merely rhetorical. Iran's response was swift and resolute. Senior Iranian leaders, including military commanders and government officials, rejected American pressure outright. They declared that Iran does not negotiate under threat and will not surrender its sovereignty to foreign intimidation. Most significantly, they emphasized that Iran's armed forces are on full alert and capable of responding immediately to any act of aggression. According to Iranian officials, this response would not be symbolic or limited. It would be decisive and powerful. The phrase, "we are ready to attack back on America," carries immense weight. It signals a shift from defensive language to deterrence through strength. Iran is making it clear that any attack on its territory, its military, or its interests will come at a high cost. This warning is not only aimed at the United States, but also at its allies in the region who host American bases and provide logistical support. Iran's message suggests that the battlefield would not be confined to one location, but could stretch across multiple fronts. To understand why this warning is so serious, one must look at Iran's military capabilities and strategic posture. Over the years, Iran has invested heavily in missile technology, drone warfare, cyber operations, and asymmetric tactics designed to counter technologically superior opponents. While Iran may not match the United States in conventional military power, it has developed systems specifically intended to deter or complicate American military action. Its missile arsenal is among the largest in the region, capable of reaching U.S. bases across the Middle East. Beyond its own forces, Iran has built a vast network of allied groups and partners throughout the region. From Iraq to Syria, from Lebanon to Yemen, these groups form what Iran describes as a defensive axis against foreign intervention. Critics label them proxies, while Iran insists they are independent movements resisting occupation and aggression. Regardless of terminology, Their existence means that any conflict between Iran and the United States could quickly expand beyond a single battlefield. This is precisely what worries international observers. A direct clash between Iran and the United States would not resemble a traditional war between two neighboring countries. It would likely involve missile strikes, drone attacks, cyber warfare, naval confrontations, and actions by allied forces across several countries. Oil routes could be disrupted, global markets shaken, and civilian populations caught in the crossfire. The consequences would extend far beyond the Middle East. Energy security is one of the most immediate global concerns. The Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway through which a significant portion of the world's oil supply passes, lies close to Iranian territory. Any military escalation in this area could threaten shipping lanes and drive oil prices sharply upward. Even the perception of risk can have dramatic effects on global markets, impacting economies thousands of miles away. Inside Iran, the warning to America also serves a domestic purpose. The country has faced economic challenges, international sanctions, and internal unrest. Standing firm against an external enemy has historically been a way for Iranian leaders to rally national unity and reinforce their legitimacy. By presenting Iran as strong, prepared, and unafraid, the leadership aims to project confidence both at home and abroad. At the same time, Iranian officials insist that they do not seek war. They repeatedly state that Iran's posture is defensive, not aggressive. According to Tehran, the readiness to strike back is meant to deter attack, not provoke one. Iran argues that true stability can only come through mutual respect, the lifting of sanctions, and recognition of its rights under international law. From Iran's perspective, it is America's military presence in the region that fuels instability, not Iran's actions. The United States, however, views the situation through a very different lens. American officials argue that Iran's nuclear activities, missile development, and regional influence threaten U.S. interests and allies. They maintain that pressure, including military pressure, is necessary to prevent Iran from becoming a nuclear-armed state. This fundamental disagreement over intentions and trust lies at the heart of the crisis. Diplomatic channels exist, but they are fragile. Years of failed negotiations, withdrawn agreements, and shifting political leadership have eroded confidence on both sides. Each new threat makes compromise harder. Each military movement increases the risk of miscalculation. A single incident, an attack blamed on the wrong actor, a misunderstood maneuver, or a technical error, could spiral into open conflict. International actors have urged restraint. Many countries fear being dragged into a conflict not of their choosing. Some have offered to mediate, while others have quietly prepared contingency plans. Global powers understand that a war between Iran and the United States would not remain localized. It would reshape alliances, strain international institutions, and redefine security calculations for years to come. The role of technology adds another layer of danger. Modern warfare moves at incredible speed. Decisions can be made in minutes, sometimes seconds. Cyber operations can disrupt communications, financial systems, and infrastructure without a single shot being fired. In such an environment, controlling escalation becomes extremely difficult. What begins as a limited response can quickly become something far larger. For ordinary people around the world, these developments may seem distant, yet their impact would be deeply personal. Higher fuel prices, economic instability, refugee crises, and heightened security threats would affect daily life far beyond the Middle East. History has shown that wars between major powers rarely remain confined to their original causes. As Iran declares its readiness to attack back if provoked, the message is ultimately one of warning, not celebration. It reflects a belief that strength is the only language respected in international politics. Whether this posture succeeds in preventing war or pushes both sides closer to it remains uncertain. What is clear is that the margin for error has grown dangerously thin. The coming days and weeks will be critical. Leaders will face choices that could either pull the region back from the brink or push it into a conflict with irreversible consequences. The world watches closely, aware that a single decision, a single strike, or a single misjudgment could change everything. For now, the warning stands. Iran says it is ready. America hears the message. And the world waits, hoping that diplomacy, caution, and reason prevail before words turn into weapons and threats become reality.